What shall we talk about this morning?
Can we talk about fear, about being afraid?
Should we talk about that? Fear.
Could we talk about reality?
Reality. All right. And then what else?
About understanding yourself?
Understanding yourself. May we begin with fear first and carry on from there. Fear, reality, and understanding yourself. As we were talking about it, when was it, on Tuesday, most of you are afraid, aren't you, not knowing what you're going to do when you leave here. Isn't there? Right? Most of you are frightened about that, aren't you? Because the world is in such a mess. It is quite insane. And to meet all that while you are young and seeing all that, you are frightened of that, aren't you? We went into that the other day. And we said that while you are here, you are having to decide what you're going to do in 2 or 3 or 4 years' time. So don't be afraid of something that you have to face in 3 or 4, 5 years' time. But while you are here, if I may suggest, become extraordinarily intelligent. And that intelligence will help you to meet this chaotic and insane world. Right? So there is no need to be fear of that kind. Right? We are clear on that point? Except Shankar, because he may have to go next month or at the end of the term to do some job, right? So he has to face it not immediately, there is no immediacy for him either, right? So one can meet the future, whatever it is, if one is really very, very intelligent. And we said that intelligence is not the cunning thought, cunning deviations of thought. We were talked about a little bit. So, put away, if I may suggest, put away that kind of fear. Have you? Not knowing what to do in the future. Will you put away that fear? Because the immediacy is much more important than the future, right? Because what you are now, how you grow, how you flower now, that will decide with intelligence what you will do. But if you keep your eyes on the future and get frightened about it, then you are not dealing with the immediacy, which is the cultivation and the flowering of intelligence, right? So can we start with that? That you, all of us here, see that thinking about the future does create fear. what might happen. I might fall ill. I might marry somebody who is appalling. I might, and so on and on and on. So, by thinking about it, one gets frightened. And as you are not called upon to do anything of that kind now, during the years that you are here, I think it is our responsibility of the staff and the rest of us to cultivate and see that you have this flowering intelligence, right? Now, I'm asking you, have you put away that fear? Huh? The fear of the future. Have you? Because this is self-knowing. She wanted to know, to understand oneself. This is it. This is to understand oneself, how or why one thinks of the future. Because you are uncertain, the world we are entering into is uncertain, and therefore there is fear. Right? If while you are here you become very, very intelligent, then you will meet it happily, whatever it is. Right? Are you free of that fear of the future, thinking, my God, what am I going to do? That's part of understanding of oneself, because oneself is the past. Shall I go into all that, or do you want? So I won't go into it for the moment. Is that clear? You're free of it.
Sir, there are a great number of us here, I think, that are in between, say, Shankar and those of us who would be here for 3 or 4 years. You know, we have to make plans for what we would do next year. Yes.
Well, to plan it, but if you plan it based on fear, then you'll end up in a mess, won't you?
Yeah.
So what's the problem? You want to talk about fear. That's one kind of fear, right? And that's, while one is young, that can be fairly put away. Not to think about the future, because if your education here at Brockwood cultivates that intelligence, then that intelligence will operate all the time. Can we go on from there? So what is reality? Isn't reality is that which is? Which is, I am living now at Brockwood, and I'm not going to think about the future is futile. Anything might happen. An earthquake might swallow all of us, or the atom bomb, or anything. But to see what is now, and from that observation, learn or awaken this intelligence from what is, not what should be, not from an ideal. Because the ideal is non-reality. I must be careful here, because reality can be an illusion too.
Isn't reality the relationships which we have with people here around us? Isn't that part of reality?
That's a reality.
Right.
Right, all right. That is, we are living in a small community of about 100 people. And what is our relations? What is the actual daily relationship of to each other? That is the reality. The actual, not imagined or wished for a relationship, but the actual daily relationship with each other in a small community of this kind. That is the reality. Am I related to anybody here at all?
Well, it seems that my relationships are based on fear or on
We'll come
admiration.
into that, sir. First, let's find out from you, students, what do you think of it? What is your actual daily relationship with each other? In inquiring into that, we'll find out what we are, how we think, what kind of feelings we have to each other. That is the mirror in which we see ourselves as we are. Right? Is this clear? So what is your relationship with each other here in Brockwood? Is it based on intelligence or on opinion or on your like and dislike? Go on. Which is it? Is my relationship to the community, that is with each one of you, I like some, I don't like some. I like to be with those whom I like, and I don't like to be with those whom I kind of put away from me. Right? In trying to find out what my relationship with each other in a small community, which is the reality of my daily life, then if I can find that out, how my reactions are, what my feelings are, how I think about each other, about another, from there I can extend vastly into the whole world. You follow? I wonder if you see that. Now let's begin from this. What is your actual relationship with each other? Is it based on fear? Is it based on reward? I'm related to, I like you, or I depend on you because you're going to give me something. Is your relationship based on reward and punishment? Go on, sir. Think it out. Because if you can answer this question really, truly, honestly, then you will find out for yourself whether, as you grow up, whether your whole life is based on this reward and punishment basis.
Is that like comfort and discomfort? And reward and punishment? And I feel uncomfortable with someone. And I feel
Yes, that's same thing. Companionship. I won't use companionship for the moment. I'm asking, what is your actual daily relationship with each other? Based on authority? No.
Seems to be based on some of all of that.
No, begin with one, and then not all of it. Let's begin with one feeling, and then work that out and include all. So what is it? Is it based on authority? Go on.
yes, I think that's part of it.
Huh?
I think that's part of it.
No, don't say part of it. Is it based on authority?
I don't quite understand what you mean by authority in this.
That is, I tell you what to do. And if you don't do it, you're going to be punished in some way or another. Or I persuade you. That's a form of authority. I exercise my position and assert that. Or I say, please, I love you, do this. That's a form of, you follow? That's a dirty trick. So what is your actual relationship in this community based on? Go on.
So, like and dislike experience.
So you like and dislike. You know that. What is wrong with it? Why shouldn't you like some people? Why shouldn't you like others?
I think
What do you say?
we tend to have conclusions about each other.
Huh?
We tend to have conclusions about each other.
No, take that one point. Come to that. Hold on to yours.
That's what I mean. You say that he's always that way. He's always unkind to me.
So, now she asked, why shouldn't I like those some and not like others? What's wrong with it? We are trying to find out. We don't say it's right or wrong, right? I like you and I don't like them. Why does this feeling exist? I want to know. I'm not condemning it. You understand? I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I like you and I don't like him. Why? Is it that you are more kind to me and he is not so kind? You talk to me more gently and he doesn't. He's rough with me and you are more quiet. Is that it? Find out. Find out. Is it that you are clean and he is not clean? Physically. He smells and you don't. Is that one of the reasons? He is polite or you are not polite. So find out why this feeling of like and dislike arises.
Well, it arises from past experience.
Yes, that is past experience.
Which is,
He has been kind to me.
yeah, which is turned into pleasure with certain.
Huh?
Which is turned into pleasure. You remember that with
Yes,
this person it was
that's
pleasurable.
it. You have had pleasure. You have said very nice things about me.
Yeah.
I like you, what you have said, and I like you. And he or she doesn't like, has been rather rough with me, and I don't. So, is that the reason you have this feeling of like and dislike? Find out. Is it that you are British and I'm also British and somebody is a foreigner, therefore I don't like bloody foreigners? And you like, go on, find out. Is it that I'm accustomed to certain type of accent in English and so I don't like accents from abroad? So is that it? Is it that you are so self-centered, you understand what I mean? You are so self-centered anybody who helps you to strengthen that self-centeredness, you accept. Anybody who questions that little bit, you get frightened. I say, please, I don't like it. Is that it? Go on.
Yeah, particularly,
I put so many things in front of you. Find out.
so there's an element of reality about all those things that you put. So it's
All right. What is wrong with it? Or right with it? See what happens from that. See what takes place with all these elements in it. What takes place?
divisions. Division.
See what takes place in you, not in somebody else. With all these elements of, all that, I won't go into all that over and over again. What is the consequence of it? What comes out of that as you grow older?
Isolation. It's a process of isolating yourself.
Process of isolation. Do you actually see that?
Yes.
Do you?
Well, you would avoid certain people then and try only
So
to be
what
with what's
do you see this like and dislike with all its complexities, as we explained just now, gradually makes you withdraw and build a house for yourself in which you collect only those who like, who please you, who help you, who reward you, who assist you, who encourage you, who give you flatter, you follow? Sustain you. You understand? The others don't sustain you. They kick you. So what takes place? You're gradually, your self-centeredness becomes more and more strong. No? Well, do you see that? Which is the essence of isolation. Right? Do you see this? I'm not saying it's right or wrong, just see it, observe it, and from that observation you have intelligence. You follow? Intelligence comes. Intelligence may say, don't go with those people. Not I like, I don't like. I wonder if you see this. Huh? You see?
Even the likes.
Just see, look at it first. Take the whole explanation of like and dislike. What is involved in it? The gradual process of self-centered isolating yourself with people who you like, who please you, who flatter you, who encourage you, who pat you on the back and say, what a marvelous fellow you are. And I like all those people, naturally. And I put away all the others. I keep them far away. So there is not only the encouragement and the strengthening of self-centeredness, which brings about isolation, and from that, what is my relationship? You follow? I may marry, I may have children, I may call my wife my darling, but she also is self-centered, and I am self-centered. You follow? Where is the relationship?
In the head.
Huh?
In the head.
Yeah, and that's just words. So do you see the importance of this? If you see that, the perception which is inside is intelligence. You follow? Then intelligence operates, not your like and dislike. I mean, my intelligence says, what? I don't know. How can I associate myself or have complete relationship with another who is traditionally bound? You understand? Who thinks traditionally, like a Hindu, like a Catholic, a Muslim, and so on. They are bound in their tradition, in their belief, in their dogma, in their past history and vanity and all that. And I say, sorry, all that's nonsense. My intelligence says all that's nonsense. Right? And what's my relationship between myself and another who is bound to tradition, bound to some belief? None at all. Right?
So, but then is that intelligence an isolating factor?
It is intelligence that says that. How? Look, take it factually. You're a Indian, right? And I am what? A Muslim. My belief, my dogmas, my Allahs and all the rest of it, so I believe in it very strongly, and you believe in yours. Where is our relationship? But if you are intelligent in the sense we are talking about, and I am a Muslim with all my prejudices, what does your intelligence tell me? Act. How does it act? Not in isolation. I wonder if you see that. Is this too difficult?
You said that if you're intelligent and I'm bound in tradition, there's no relationship.
No. Then intelligence acts. It may say, it may talk with you, but it's not against you. But you are against that. You, Catholic, with all the rest of it, if you're Catholic, I'm just taking that as an example. And another who has seen the absurdity of any organized belief, dogmas, all the rest of it, he says that's sheer nonsense. You are against him, but he's not against you. Right? So, we're talking of fear. Do you see this like and dislike breeds a certain type of fear? Do you? Which is, through like and dislike, I isolate myself. Right? Right? When I isolate myself, I'm afraid that you might disturb my isolation. You understand? You might question my isolation. You might shake me. You might hurt me. So I'm afraid of you. I wonder if you see this. Some years ago, I'm just recounting a story. Some years ago, a man came to see me, very rich, peer of the realm, and he began to talk to me. And gradually, after several weeks, because he had very frightening dreams after talking to me. One morning he said, I'm not coming to see you anymore because you're too frightening altogether, because what you are saying is terribly disturbing. Because I have dreams, I may give up. You follow? Everything around, please, packs. So he was afraid of, you follow? Through his isolation, he was afraid of being disturbed. So, do you see the consequence of like and dislike? That's all I'm pointing out. And when you observe this like and dislike in operation, and you see the consequence of that, the perception of it is insight, which is intelligence. Right? It is an intelligent act, isn't it? Not throw yourself over a precipice. But it's an idiotic and suicidal act if a man insists on throwing himself over the precipice. Right? You see this?
But it doesn't seem quite clear. If for example, there's someone who I'm frightened of, who therefore, because I'm frightened of them, I dislike them. It doesn't seem quite clear what I do then, having seen that.
I don't quite follow. I'm frightened of you. Hmm? Why?
Perhaps because you're cleverer than me.
I'm frightened of you for many reasons. You're cleverer than me, you might hurt me, you might make my position uncertain, you might, through your words, through your action, upset my whole conclusions, and so on, so on. So what? What are you saying from that?
Well then, what do I do when I see that?
No, wait. Do I see that I am frightened by somebody? Do I see that you are frightening me because of disturbing my conclusions, my wishes, my likes, my hope? So I'm frightened of you.
Right.
Am I aware of this, that I'm frightened of you because I am uncertain, that you make me uncertain?
Yes, I am.
If I see that, the perception that you frighten me because I have certain conclusions, that perception, that seeing, or that insight is intelligence. Then I say, all right, that intelligence is going to act, not my fear of you. That seems fair, huh? Are we meeting each other or gone?
Is it not possible that I may see that for an instant, but later on meeting that person again, I'm frightened again?
So, do I see that reality only for a second or for a moment, or I see the whole implications of this? You follow? Therefore, when I meet you next time, I realize this has happened to me several times. I used to know a man who was a terrible bully, terrible. And gradually I saw what the result of it on another. You know, fear. So we discuss and so on. You can get out of it completely.
You mean you discussed it with him?
Yes. Not with the man who bullies.
Oh.
That's his misfortune.
You mean because he wasn't open?
Leave that. I'm just taking that as an example. So is this clear? That fear thinking about what you will do when you grow up, when you leave here, and yourself uncertain, the world is uncertain, and thinking about it, you get frightened, right? If you see that you have time between now and when you have to leave, during that time, awaken, learn, become terribly intelligent, find out. Not just be concentrated on exams or on sport, but even exams, everything, find out. From observing all your activities while you're here, there is the awakening of that intelligence, which is part of your education, which I think is much more important than merely passing some exams. Not that they are not important, they are, if you want to pass exams.
So, but why do you want to pass exams? Because you want to meet the future.
I said if you want to pass it, it's yours to find out. If you say, look, I don't want to pass exams, A-level or O-level and all the rest of it, and I'm going to cultivate intelligence, then when you leave this place, you will act intelligent. You might be a gardener. You might do something quite out of the way. Right? But those who want to pass exams, take A-level and O-level and all that, they say, well, it is necessary to have that kind of mind which is critical. You follow? Learning, which has a great deal of knowledge stored up. It may help me. That's his particular job. Don't tell him what to do.
Yes, sir, but when you're doing these, when you're studying in order to meet the future, doesn't that get in the way?
No, you're not going to lay down law for other people.
No,
we are saying, I may want to pass exams, say, well, because I feel this is too difficult. To be so intelligent may be too difficult for me. That's an easy way out. Right? So I say, all right, I may have to pass exams, I better study, because that way I can always rely on some kind of... You follow? I don't condemn such person or look down on him. I said, if he wants to do that, let him do it. He'll find out. He will find out before he leaves this place, you know, that intelligence may say, well, I may operate in that student who wants to pass exams. So that's one kind of fear, the future. So don't put away that kind of fear altogether. Because while you are here, young, life is full, enjoy it, you follow? Not say, my God, what's going to happen to me? Then there's the fear of like and dislike. No, not the fear. The fear that arises from like and dislike. Right? Which is the self-centered activity which you might come and disturb. You follow? Which you might come and say, what nonsense, you're anything. And I cling to my conclusions, my opinions, my beliefs, and I don't want to meet you. I may not want to meet you, but I pick up a paper which says what nonsense all that is. So I quickly put it aside. So I'm frightened. You follow? So I see, do you see very clearly what like and dislike leads to? This is very difficult when you are very young, not to like somebody immensely and turn your face against another, turn your back against another. If you see this, that it gradually breeds fear, or it is one of the very causes of fear, then you will look at it. You follow? You will understand it. You will see how unnecessary to live in a world or in with yourself with like and dislike. That's another form of fear. And we said there is the fear of authority, right? So we are asking, in a community of this kind, small, which is really the representative community of the whole of the world, right? Right? Do you see that? Of course. Living in a small community like this, are you afraid of authority? Authority being somebody telling you what to do and insisting on it and forcing you, etc., etc. Or somebody trying to persuade you, sweetly, kindly, roughly. Or saying, look, we are special people here, you must live in a certain way. All such attitudes is a form of authority. Whereas I discuss with you. I say, look, don't come into the dining room with bathing dress. I talk it over with you. Right? There's no authority in that. That is you and I in talking over, quite impersonally, right? Quite objectively, we both see the necessity of certain things. Right? What? You're silent on this matter. Wait, we discussed the other day about the assembly, morning assembly. Huh? We said, why do you go there? And we went into it, we said, look, it's good to be together for some time. Together, all of us in the same room, looking at each other, watching each other, talking about the same thing together. There is a Sanskrit phrase, which I will translate into English, which is living with good people. You understand? You're all good people, obviously. You don't want to murder me or murder each other. You don't want to hit each other. We're fairly good people. So we all to be together. You know, that is, I don't know if you ever find out. Here we are. Look, we are together now. Isn't there a different feeling than you are by yourself in the garden? Huh? Do tell me. Isn't there a different feeling, different atmosphere, different sense of communication with each other? That's the reason for the assembly in the morning. But if you say, sorry, I don't want to come, all right, don't come. Then you miss a great deal. We point it out to you. If you say, well, I'm sorry, I like to look at the sky, or I like to read my detective, or I like to, it's up to you, do it. But you miss an awful lot. You follow? So, in the same way, we talk over together about punctuality, about being polite to each other. You know how in the world politeness is going. Some time ago, I was in a bus in London, and an old lady came in. I stood up and gave her my seat. She said, "What? You give me your seat for me?" He said, I know. You follow? I think, is politeness authority? Asking you, hey, no, talking over, together. Saying, look, let's be polite to each other. You follow? It's... Right? There is no authority in it. So there is authority only when somebody comes along and says, do this. Or you insist on disorder. You follow? Your room, your dress, your sloppiness, and somebody says, please, keep your room in disorder, dress properly. And he said, yes, yes. You say, yes, yes. And keep on that way. And I said, for God's sake, woman or girl or boy, I've told you 10 times, you don't do it. Right? Don't call me an authority, but you have produced the authority because you're disorderly. You understand this? Like Mussolini. I mean, in Italy at a certain time, there was terrible disorder. Trains were late and everything was. I was there. And dear old Mussolini came along and said, look, we must have order. Trains ran properly. So, out of disorder, people create authority. Right? So find out if you are creating authority. Or being persuaded, being told, whereas together, all of us together, sit down and say, look, let's all be punctual for a minute. We discuss, we talk it over. There is no authority. We all see the same thing. That's why I feel it very important that we are all together to talk things over together. Not about somebody. Right. So, we are saying there is that kind of fear. There is also fear in oneself of not achieving something you want to get. I want to become a painter. I may have the capacity, or the talent, or the gift, or the creative thing, and I work for it. There is no fear in that. But there is fear when that creative thing becomes money-making thing. You follow what I mean? And then I'm saying, by Joe, I must paint my pictures. All the rest of it. So there are different forms of fear. Fear of public opinion, fear of what somebody else might say. So are you aware of all these fears? Just be aware. Don't suppress it, don't deny it, don't escape from it. Say, well, yes, I am frightened of what you think of me. Are you? Are you? Huh?
Yeah.
You are frightened of what I think of you?
No.
Not what you think of me, but I notice in myself that I am frightened of what people think of me.
All right. You are frightened of what people think of you. Wow. Go into it. I'm frightened of what Mrs. Thatcher might think of me. My God, just think of that. I'm frightened of what people might think of me. Why? I want their good opinion of me, right? Why? I want them to think that I'm all right. That means I am conforming myself to what they think. Right? 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 If I am frightened of what you all might think of me, and I may be different, And I want to conform to what you think of me, which is your opinion about. So what is happening? What's happening? Go into it, look at it. What's happening? You think, look, there is authority. Look at it carefully. You are afraid of me. I hope not, but suppose you are afraid of me. Because you like to think that I approve of you. Right? Then what happens? I become the pattern, right, for you to follow. So the pattern becomes the authority. The public opinion becomes the authority. Do you see that? Huh? I deny authority here. But yet I have the fear of public opinion. What people might say about me. So that's another form of fear. Now take that one thing and be free of it. One thing, and be completely free of it. But that's going to be tremendous fear for the rest of your life. What somebody might think of you. Good God. Who are the people who think about you? Your neighbors? Your father, your mother, your uncle, aunt, and people around you? They want you to be this. That's their opinion. And you want to conform to their opinion. Otherwise, you get frightened. Right? Right? So, why are you conforming? Why do you conform about anything? Not only about people. Why do you conform? I put on trousers and all this kind of dress when I'm in Europe. When I go to India, I put on Indian clothes. Is that conforming?
Doesn't have to be.
Huh?
Doesn't have to be.
No. Am I conforming?
It is in a certain physical sense.
It's more convenient for me. More convenient, more clean, because clean clothes every day and so on, so on, so on. If I said no, I won't conform and come here and dress like an Indian, South Indian or North Indian, and insist that way, it becomes a damn bore for everyone.
It's practical.
Huh?
It's practical. It's hot in India, so you'd wear Indian clothes.
Yes, that's all.
It's cold.
So there is no conformity, I'm pointing out, in changing clothes and conforming to the pattern of a particular country. If I conform myself, because I live in Italy, I have lived a great many years in Italy, and I see everybody going to Mass and crossing themselves in a church and all that, why should I conform? I think that's all rubbish. Huh? But if I wanted a job there, in Rome, and they might ask me, are you Catholic? I said, sorry, I'm not. They might not give me a job. So I got frightened. You follow find out, that's all I'm saying. Don't just say I'm frightened of public opinion and just remain in that fear all the rest of your life. Find out why you're frightened of public opinion.
So you might also conform in order not to aggravate other people. Like here, say you come to the West, you start eating with a fork and knife. It's a dashed nuisance, but you eat with a fork and knife because you don't want to...
I've never eaten meat in my life. Why should I eat meat? Here everybody eats meat. Practically. I won't say everybody, thank God. Why should I conform to that? I've been invited many, many places where they eat meat, and I say I'm vegetarian. It's a perfectly all right. Oh boy, we know we are vegetarian, we'll give you. So they give me chicken. So I said, sorry. I don't even say sorry. I'm not hungry. Push it off. I don't even say that. I said, thanks so much. When the next day comes vegetable, I take it. That's all. I don't make fuss about it. So, why do you, I'm sure most of you have this feeling. I'm asking you, not only, but I'm asking you, have you fear of public opinion? Huh? Yes, she has. Have you? There. Most of you have a fear of what other people think. Is that it? Huh?
Yeah, because you want to fit in, and it makes things easier if you don't go against the grain.
Vibhan?
It's because you want to fit in, isn't it?
Because you want to fit in.
Why? I'm asking you why. You want to fit in.
You're afraid.
Huh?
You're afraid.
Why are you afraid?
Because you don't want to be hurt.
You do, is that it? I'm frightened of public opinion because I don't want to be hurt.
You don't want to be isolated.
Huh?
You don't want to be isolated.
So is that it? Whole of England thinks, what? I don't suppose, that they're all devout Jesus worshippers, and you don't. Hmm? And you feel, because if I don't worship Jesus as the rest of them do, I'll be isolated. Therefore I'm frightened. Will you then believe all, go to church and all that? Huh? You go into it, find out.
Well, what you might do is you might go to church, but just keep it to yourself.
No, I don't want to play all that. I don't want to be in the circus. I might prefer the other kind of circus. So please find out for yourself while you are young. Please explore, be curious, investigate, find out why you are frightened of public opinion. What somebody says, whether the Archbishop or anybody.
I feel that I have to be conscious of how I dress at home and what people think of me around.
Yes. Why? Why are you frightened?
Because I have to fit in, because otherwise it causes lots of problems.
So you don't want to create a lot of problems for yourself. Is that it? So you say, please, I'll just do what you want me to do.
Their ignorance not to it, their ignorance to see that, to believe that you aren't accepted when you don't conform to their rules is just ignorance.
All right. Look, when you leave Brockwood, where we're all not eating meat, go home and you eat meat, you're conforming, aren't you? To your particular taste, or not to create bother in the kitchen, not to worry your parents and say, my God, you're getting thin, you are not fat, you follow? So you go and eat meat, do you? Huh? Come on, answer it. Face it.
No, maybe it's worthwhile to go into those problems.
What?
Maybe it's worthwhile to go into those problems that would arise.
I said, find out what you will do. If you say, sorry, Mommy, I'm not going to eat meat. I don't like to kill it. I don't like the smell of it. Or horror. And the mother gets angry. So she says, sorry, Mommy, I can't eat that kind of stuff anymore. What happens? Whom are you creating problem? For your mother, not for yourself. Huh? Aren't you?
No, I don't think so.
Huh?
Why? I did that.
Say, sorry, I don't eat meat. I won't eat meat, fish, anything. I won't eat meat. So mother said, my God, why not? You're stupid. Then you create a lot of trouble for us. And you say, and you quiver a little bit. And you say, she gets angry. She does all kinds of things. And I'm sorry at the end of it, Mummy, darling, don't force me to eat meat because I won't eat meat. Because I don't like it. Who is causing problems? Am I causing problems? Or she is causing problems for herself?
But
Find out. I won't do certain things. I won't kill people. Then the problem is the problem of the government. They might shoot me, they might kill me, they might put me in prison, they might force me to eat. But I'm sorry, it's your problem, not mine. I don't know if you see this. You've turned the tables on them.
But if you say that, it's
Huh?
a problem, then people get very angry.
Huh? What is that?
She says, then people get very angry at you, which
I
is then your problem.
Let him get angry. Mummy, don't get angry.
He says it's very dangerous.
Therefore, I'm asking you, why are you frightened of public opinion? Which maybe public opinion is, eat meat. I know several Hindus, I've traveled with them unfortunately, the moment they leave India, they tuck in meat. On ship, on boat, airplanes, everything. But the moment they go back, they see.
So you're taking, an example which is, like not eating meat is something which I care a lot about, that I don't want to eat meat. But there are certain things which some of us don't care one way or the other.
Wait, I'm taking meat purposely. You're going to face this problem and go home, which is public opinion. Right? So you are not creating problems. Because you say, sorry, it's just as well easy to cook an omelette or you follow vegetables, beans or whatever it is, as cooking meat. But mother insists that you eat that. Huh? You follow this? So don't put it on that you don't want to create problems. I want to create problems. I want to create problems for them, not for me, because I'm free, I don't care. When I used to meet a lot of communists and at one time Catholics and so on, I said, I don't believe in all this nonsense. So he said, why not? They would get very angry, intellectually, and all the rest would try to say, I'm sorry, I see much more at the end of it all than you do. At the end of it, they left me alone. Because they're frightened, because they see, you follow? So, are you now free of public opinion? Don't look at me cross-eyed.
No.
Not you. Are you frightened of public opinion after this? What your mother will say at home when you're strict to when you don't eat meat? When you say, sorry, I am not going to church. Or you think it's silly? Do you? Huh? Oh Lord. That's public opinion, there it is. Public opinion in Italy says, go to Mass every Sunday, and you say, sorry, it's all blah.
So you might be interested to find out what type of blah it is, so you might go to watch what happens.
I may prefer my blah, but I don't want to prefer your blah. Don't force me to accept your nonsense. So I investigate my blah. So are you free after investigating into this problem? I know it's very difficult while you are young not to conform to public opinion. Everybody wears blue jeans, we are all going to wear blue jeans. Right? Everybody has long hair, we all have long hair. Beards. I said, what? Find out. This is to find out why you conform and go and see that you're frightened, and to be free of that fear is to be intelligent.
I think, Krishnaji, that often we want to conform to public opinion because something very deep happens, that if many people like us, then we think, oh, we're a good person.
And that is...
And if people don't like us, or if...
That's obnoxious. Say, I'm a very good person, therefore I don't like you.
I think that's something subtle that happens with us.
Or else maybe life is easier if everyone
What?
Or else maybe life is easier if everyone is with you and you're part of a big family.
She says, maybe life is easier when everyone is with you and you're part of the whole.
Of course. That's how Hitler got all the people, all the young students to be youth Hitlers. You've seen all this, Mussolini, all the tyrants do this. Because young people like to conform, like to be like everybody else. Because they feel, my God, if I'm slightly different, they call me names. And I don't like that. Nobody does call you names here. So, while you are here, for heaven's sake, find out if you are frightened of public opinion. And whether you can be free of it completely, so that you are, you are a human being, not less a kind of sheep following a... So that's under form, fear. Fear, as we said, the future. I hope you are free of that. Fear of authority, which is much more complex. You may have no authority from outside, but you may have authority inside yourself. Say, well, this is what I think, this is what I've experienced, this is what I know, and I'm not going to budge. This becomes the authority of your own illusion. So, if you are living under authority, then you will never, or accept authority, then there will be never an intelligent flowering. But if we say together, all of us sit down, as we do now, together discuss, see the same thing together, not agree. We all agree this is a microphone, that there's no problem. We all agree to fall down from a height, 18th floor will kill you. There is no problem. But if you want to drop out of the 18th window, it's your problem. So, future no fear, authority of any kind, inwardly or outwardly, to be free of that kind of authority, to be free of public opinion, seems to be most difficult for all of you. Because when you are young, we all want to do the same thing. Because we don't want to appear peculiar. If all England ate vegetable, don't eat meat, fish, and all the rest of it, and you happen to have lived in some place where they ate meat and come here, you'll be out of place. And you say, oh God, I must adjust myself. Public opinion.
So,
You follow?
Krishnaji, is it sort of being afraid of not wanting to be alone?
Huh?
If you don't conform to what everyone else does, then you're sort of out of it.
What would happen? If you're out of it, what would happen? Are you out of it as a reaction? See, I don't like it, I'm going to do something else. That's not intelligent, is it? But if you see that public opinion, which is what everybody agrees upon, everybody says it's good to eat meat, it's good to worship Jesus, it's good to whatever they agree. And you come along and say, you're doubtful of it, and you're frightened not to accept all that. You feel isolated, you feel out of it, and you feel frightened of that, right? Now, when you live like that, what happens? Frightened all the time what people think? See what happens to you when you live like that. For God's sake, find out what happens to you when you live like that. When you are trying to conform, when you're trying to fit in there, and somebody says, look, don't, for your own sake, it only breeds fear. What? Don't you want to get out of that? Huh? Don't you?
It's hard, I mean...
It is. No, I won't even accept hard. Is it hard to see that if you drop from the 18th floor, it's going to kill you? Is it hard to see?
No.
Then why is this hard to see? It's equally as clear, I think. To live according to some public opinion only breeds fear. And therefore, when there is fear, you live in darkness. You live constant struggle. You follow? Why don't you see that as clearly as dropping from the 18th floor? If you have lived, it's all right, but I mean, why don't you see that? To see that is intelligent and free of it. Two years ago, several years, no, 3 or 4 years ago in India, while I was talking, a man came up to me after my talk. He said to me, furious, angry, he said, you ought to be burnt. Because I was contradicting, I was saying what nonsense all this, all that stuff there, religion and all this, no religion at all and so on, which is a public opinion. And public opinion, if they gather together, they burn me. They throw stones at me. If you confess, it's all right. That's part of life. You will die anyhow. I'll die one way or the other. But that means you see clearly something that is dangerous and avoid it. I'm not setting up myself as an example. Like in California, after a talk, a man comes to me, I wish I had the power to put you in a concentration camp. You follow? But because of their threat, because of their... I said, this is so. Which doesn't need courage, which doesn't need a thing. It is so. I don't want to live in fear of public opinion. Huh? Are you frightened of public opinion too? Of course, of course. Don't, for God's sake, don't. See why, explore it. Find out while you are here during the next few years, find out how to live without fear of public opinion, fear of authority, fear of the future. From that unfolding of why you are afraid, investigating, comes intelligence. But if you say, I'm frightened of public opinion, and wriggle for the rest of your life, which most people do. So, there's that. Fear of the future, fear of authority. There's no fear of authority of the policeman, are you? Because he asks you to do certain things, that's the law, you keep to the left, there's no fear. But if you say, no, sorry, I insist driving on the right, because I'm used to driving on the right in Europe, and he says, come off it. He'll give you a ticket. And because you're in danger. So there is a fear, there is no fear when you see something very clearly, and that doesn't need courage. So there is future, authority, and public opinion. Especially, this is one of the most difficult things when you are young, very young, which is not to live or go contrary to public opinion. Well, what are the other forms of fear?
Death.
Huh?
Death.
Are you frightened of death? Huh? Are you? You don't think about death while you are young, do you? Huh? Do you really?
Think about being killed.
What?
Think about being killed.
Be?
Think about being killed. Being killed.
Be what? Again, that's future. I'm frightened of being killed. Oh my God. So what? So what happens? I daren't move out of my little hole. No, you really are not frightened of being killed or talk about death, which is, I can talk about death, but it's not your field. If you want to talk about it, want to go into it, want to find out, I'll do it. But if you just say, look, we've got 10 minutes left to talk about death. It's an immense problem, death. But if you say, look, before I die, I want to know how to live. That's much more important. I want to live before I die without fear. Oh, you follow? Then it's fun to talk about it. Then do it together. See that is there really a way of living in which there is no conflict, no fear, and understand the whole nature of pleasure. You follow? That is the way to. Is there a way of living which has no shadow of fear? Aren't you interested in that? To find that out while you are young, that is important. When you are caught in the trap, then you are lost. Then you might put all these questions, but say, sorry, I'm caught. I've got married, I've got children, I've got to work, I've got to earn money, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. And you say, please, leave this alone. Tell me how to earn more money. Then if you ask that question, I should go to somebody who knows the game. For the time being,
Sir, I would like to come back to that problem of public opinion. You see, my family, I wanted to eat vegetarian food. I was the only one, yes? And the whole family didn't like it. And
they think you're queer. They think you're, well, never mind what they think.
And they kind of opposed against it and said, if you don't fit into our rules and our
you get out of the house.
Then we are not going to
give money to
study.
Study. Oh, that's a good old threat of the family. I know. So what happens?
Yeah.
So what? Face that. Face that. Face that. You go home and you refuse to do certain things. You refuse to be bullied by your parents. You refuse to not eat meat. If you think that's right, then what will you do? If they tell you, Brockwood has made you this kind of idiotic person, I won't send you there, what will you do? Huh? Go on, answer my question. What will you do?
Talk it over with them?
Huh?
Talk it over with them?
Which means what? That you must be very clear about yourself. So, being very clear, you talk friendly. In a friendly manner, they say, I'm very clear, I don't want to eat meat. I don't want to go to church. So, if you're very clear, if they are nice parents, they generally say, all right, old boy, I understand. But if they are tough, if they say you've got to go to church, then what will you do while you are young? You know very well inside you that's blah. And you act intelligent, you don't care, you go. And go when you are there, pick up instead of the Bible, you read. Bible is very good, by the way, if you read it properly, not the modern, New Testament. Huh? I like the Old Testament personally. The other is too sentimental. Huh? So you pick up your book or whatever it is, put it in the Bible and go on reading it. Who cares? But they know that you don't want it. It pricks their conscience. So put them on the spot.
And the same with meat.
Huh?
And the same with meat.
What?
About eating meat. The
Meat.
same.
Yeah. I don't want to eat. Mommy, I'm sorry, I don't want to eat meat. I see it's awful to kill animals just for yourself. Killing is wrong. Killing, eventually you kill man. You follow? Reason with them. But because you can reason intelligently, because you are very clear, but if you are uncertain, they say, oh, come back. You are one of us. So are you clear? Be clear about something. I was a guest in a house where they didn't eat salt. Because they thought eating salt was something terrible. I don't know all the explanations for it. And what happened? I said one day, could you give me a little salt? And there was such and I said, all right, don't make fuss, it doesn't matter. I'll eat without salt. You follow? But if you are very clear, public opinion is the most absurd way of living, frightened of it. And if you are very clear that about meat, church and all that, then there's no problem for you. You might create problem for others. And you jolly well, an intelligent man does create problem for others. Is that enough? It's lunchtime, isn't it? See, I'll create a problem for you. Which is, not now, sit quietly for 10 minutes a day by yourself or someone, absolutely quiet, without moving a single finger or moving the eyes, the eyeballs, just sit quiet. And if you can't find out why you can't, you follow? Enough.